One of the ones that I think people make mistakes on is if we need something called a QDRO, which is a qualified domestic retirement order. And that's needed for any ERISA assets that are going to be divided. So if you had like a 401k or a pension, it doesn't affect an IRA. Um, Folks are under the misconception, and I've had this happen to myself and other clients and friends, where they'll just say the QDRO is actually a separate document that's written up as part of the settlement process. And most attorneys will say, oh, we'll just put the details in the settlement, and then we'll have the QDRO attorney engaged after the settlement's been signed by the judge. And that's a huge mistake, because divorce law doesn't really govern the dividing of those assets. It's up to the plan administrator how they can really be divided. So if your settlement is not specific or does not follow the guidelines of that plan, you can wind up not getting those assets. I actually happened to my best friend in New York. So you want to make sure that while you're going through the process, that your settlement is sent to the QDRO attorney, who writes up the second document, sends it to the TPA for approval before it's submitted to the judge for signature, because you want to make sure it meets their rules. If it doesn't, it's not enforceable later.
Right.
Also with QDROs, people might get them and then they don't file them immediately with the plan administrator after the divorce. They wait years. Well, those assets could have been spent and they're gone. And what are you going to do now? Take someone to court for contempt and fight over something that isn't there? So those are some of the things that I see come up that people really need to be aware of when they're splitting assets, and how does the process work?